Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Casa de Anime. Today we'll be covering Beastars episode 3, A Wolf is Born. Like and subscribe to Casa de Anime for more content.
All right, well, let's get right into it. Episode 3, A Wolf is Born. Wow, there's some, we found out some things such as Haru's promiscuous nature. And we heard about her hooking up with another rabbit's boyfriend in episode 1. And now we actually meet that boyfriend, and we find out he's not so special because she's been hooking up with a lot of other people on campus. And I felt like that personally played into her role, as everyone perceives her as this little, it's almost like in real life when we objectify smaller women, may say they're fun size or so. I kind of felt like it related to that. And so that was her role on campus, and we see why she's kind of treated like trash by these other people, and they feel that that's not right. Anyone else want to touch on that point?
Yeah, so like you see her first opening scene, you just see her rubbing on his fur, and it's just like it makes you uncomfortable. You're like, wait, she's actually doing this. We all thought she was an innocent little tiny bunny. What she isn't. And then the next scene we see is her classmates just talking about her, because they're like, oh, you were just with that bunny? You were just with Haru? And they're like, oh yeah, I've been with her. And they also describe how she is and everything, and just everyone knows how she is around. So I guess she is, like, as you call it, a slut around the school, and everyone knows that she's up to no good.
Yeah, I mean, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, it goes back to the whole thing. I mean, if you look at Legoshi, you look at Louis, you look at Haru, they're all putting on, they're basically putting on a face for who they really are. So Louis, is portraying himself as this macho man, but in all actuality, we're seeing he has some of the biggest insecurities about being a herbivore. Haru is playing as, the innocent victim or the innocent one. But in all actuality, she's very, very much knows what she's doing. She's not innocent at all, and she's actually taking other men's innocence. And Legoshi, playing the big bad wolf, and he's really a scared, timid person inside who hasn't experienced anything and is afraid of the world, basically. So, it's very interesting. You get to see all these characters and, what they're doing and how they're portraying themselves versus how they actually are.
Yeah, well, we see Legoshi instantly is not down for what Haru is doing. He runs out of the room, and he's contemplated a lot throughout the show.
I would say, Keith, I don't know if he instantly, I would say he doesn't know what's going on. I mean, he's never been in that predicament. It's not like he can't process it. It's not like he doesn't want to be a part of it. He just doesn't understand it.
Yeah, he doesn't understand.
He's not sexually experienced.
Because the first thing he did. The first thing you see is when he's like nervous about it and he runs out of there, he covers her up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, he did. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He covers her up immediately.
Yeah, it's not like I think he was afraid of the experience, but I don't think he knew necessarily what was going on. His mind, from what it seems, he said he never had a girlfriend, never experienced love. So for him, it's just very a weird situation. Mm-hmm.
It's just real life things.
Fear from the unknown experience. We see how he reacts. He covers her up. He leaves. And he says, that's the first time I was actually treated like a male wolf. So he didn't. He really didn't know what to do in that situation. Okay.
So, and I would say, how did you feel about the episode in general with everything going on? Louis' performance, Haru's basically flip side. We're seeing the truth about what Haru really does. Haru's innocence. How did you guys feel about this episode in general?
Everyone's hiding something. Definitely, everyone's hiding. They're fighting their own demons, not just the main protagonist on the show. Everyone has a secret on something.
And Kai, the what was he? The one who was raised by.
What did he say it was?
A femur or something?
A fair?
A ferret. I think he was a ferret or something like that. But and we didn't know why everyone was connected into the drama club, but now we know everyone in the drama club has experienced something. So that's a very interesting thing, because now we understand that everyone in the drama club, is, you could say, damaged goods. So
has experienced out of the ordinary. I'd like to point that out, out of the ordinary stuff. And that's why, so what has Legoshi experienced, and why did they recruit him for the drama club is the next question we is brought up to the show, which is very interesting.
And from what it seems, I think Legoshi might have had maybe a traumatic experience with a carnivore, which has led him to be so afraid and to basically think that everyone's nature is basically, who they are. If you're a wolf, you're a wolf. If you're a deer, you're a deer. And that's why he's so afraid, I think. It's because he might have had some kind of traumatic experience where he's seen the real thing of him being basically a walking prey. That's what it is.
And I like to point out him calling, after the Haru scene, he's contemplating to himself and he calls everyone narrow-minded. Which is interesting. And we see how they're all narrow-minded because they're all like I said before, they're all playing into preconceived notions of each other. If you're an innocent little rabbit, you're a big bad wolf, I should stay away from you. If you're a lion, you're dangerous, you're carnivore. And we see one thing I like to point out, which they keep doing a great job at this, when they do split screens. When Legoshi was talking to Louis, and they did the split screen of Legoshi's hand movements and Louis interpreting and simply not listening to Legoshi, but looking at his hand movements. And he sees him, he says, every motion you make is aggressive, and he sees the nature within it. And instead of listening to Legoshi's good idea on set, he sees the animalistic, the carnivorous nature of Legoshi, and that's interesting. And he also wants to be a Beastar too, so
yeah, it's like you can't have preconceived notions of people if you want to be a Beastar. That's the whole point of being a Beastar, is looking past the preconceived notions. But he's calling people narrow-minded, but he's the most narrow-minded one out of all of them. Look at me, it's my performance, I did well,
Louis said the only person he can trust is himself. And I think he knows that everyone categorizes everyone else. Yet Louis seems to do that to Legoshi, but he seems to try and act above this when he sees other characters portraying that same ideology, which is very interesting also.
And Kenny, you would like to add anything?
No, you guys literally read my mind on everything that was going on in the scenes, because he's afraid. Like, as soon as he put his hand in his mouth, you can see how afraid he is. He's not ready to become. I don't think he's ready to become a Beastar.
No, I was hoping he didn't bite him either. Who knows if he would have had another crazy reaction.
Yeah.
And I was gonna say, so where do you think the plot's headed? I mean, the last thing we saw was what's his name had passed out, Louis. So
yeah, great performance.
Yeah, great.
Almost
performance.
Like a Black Swan performance,
Yeah, great performance, but you passed out. So I don't know. Where do you guys see this headed?
I feel like if you saw some of the scenes before when they were, I guess they work with the newspaper and take photography and all that.
Editorial.
The editorial. They were talking about getting the perfect picture. I feel like this next episode, something is going to happen. They're trying to prepare the audience for something that something dramatic's about to happen on stage.
Yeah, we see how. And we see the influence of the press. And they want to manipulate every single, even from down to the picture. They didn't feel like Louis was exposed enough in that picture. It seems to be this very controlled environment that everyone is manipulating somehow. So I think moving on into the future, we're going to see some chaos that kind of breaks this orderly, controlled environment. And then after that is going to be how the other animals start reacting to this disorder. So I expect to see a lot of disorder in the future for sure.
I was actually, it's funny because I thought that Louis would, break his ankle or so-and-so during his next performance and they'd take a picture. But I'm guessing that from the way it looks, I don't think he's even going to make it to the second performance. I was thinking maybe somebody goes in and takes his role, and who knows, maybe even becomes the star actor. But I have no idea where it's going to go from here.
It could be Legoshi because he's always.
And I would say that would break the norm, like you're saying, with the chaos thing, where a wolf is playing the deer, so a wolf in kind of sheep's clothing, and then
what would everyone's reaction be to that?
So that's a very interesting thing. So anything else you guys want to touch on? Any last calls? Anything you noticed? Or
I think that's basically everything we touched on. Nothing that we're
I was
missing.
gonna say it's very interesting. Weird side note about the setting is everyone has their own little peace of mind area. So like the polar bears have the ice, the wolves have the moon little thing they can go to, and it's very they have their own, like, it's kind of like, I would say, like mental health, like just never forgetting who you are. So they have those little kind of things for them so they can still be a part of their nature.
It's the little counselor. Instead of counselors, they have their own rooms where they can be with their own kind.
Yeah.
And it seems very secluded when they do that. Do they know, like, have any the other animals, like, have the wolves stepped into the polar bear area, or do they know what they do?
Well, if you looked at the moonlight area, it was just for nocturnal creatures. It wasn't just for the wolf. There was other creatures in there. So
they're still segregating them.
Was it?
Yeah, they're still segregated.
Was it though? Because like when you looked at the doors, it showed a picture of a wolf.
It showed a picture, but when you looked inside, when he was sitting down, he was with other nocturnal creatures. There was one wolf there, but there was other nocturnal creatures with him.
Okay.
This has been another review of Casa de Anime. Like and subscribe for weekly content, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Thanks for watching.
Catch you guys later.
See you later, guys.